In today's video, I'm going to be back in realistic car driving with a C63 and I'll be taking on the track to see how well this thing handles. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. Let's launch this thing in 3, 2, 1, blast off. Now I'm pretty sure they changed the sound on this thing because it does not sound as how it sounded before. I do like it. But this is well, not really my first time, my second time hearing it. Okay, let's focus. We shouldn't be really focused on sound right now. We should really focus on trying to make this thing handle as best as possible. Now, from previous experience of driving this thing, I don't think I had any bad experience with this thing. I think it handled pretty well before, but I did change some like suspension and alignment, so hopefully it makes it better and does not make it worse. So far it's doing pretty good, so I think it should be okay, because most of the cars I've tested out so far actually handled super well. Come to think of it, the car that I really need to take on the track is the Porsche. I forgot which model, but I know it in my mind. I think it was a GT4 RS. That car gave me a hard time on the track. I needed that I change the suspension and alignment and stuff like that and see how well this thing handles the track after I change it. Cause that thing was the hardest car I think I ever took on this track. Like I spun out so many times I can't even forget. Oh, almost lost it there, but we're good. Well, now we're getting some oversteer. We need to be careful, because this thing is fully rear wheel drive. So most of us just going straight to the rear wheel, so we gotta keep that in mind. Because don't wanna gas it too hard coming out of these turns, else we're just gonna like do a full 360, which is not what I'm trying to do. But so far it's sounding pretty good. I do like the sound. It sounds a lot more realistic, with the turbo noise. But so far it's sounding pretty well. Did have like 2 oversteers, but that's not really a major problem. As long as we can keep it going forward without spinning out and crashing, I'll say it's handling pretty well. And it's pretty fast. I'm wondering if the brakes make it unstable. I feel like it does a little. I can hear the tires squeaking every time I turn. Oh my gosh. But so far it's doing pretty well. Gotta give it that. But it I don't know if it's me bugging out or what, but I feel like the car is a little unstable because I keep seeing the steering wheel making these little movements, which I don't know what's happening, if it's the game lagging or what, or what happened in the recent update. Okay, I stopped seeing the crazy stuff, that the steering jerking and stuff like that. But I'm yeah, never mind, it's still jerking around. I mean, I can't really feel it because I'm not really driving with my hands like in real life, but I can definitely see that the steering wheel is jerking, so I feel like the car is a little unstable. Not unstable to the point where it's gonna make me lose control, but I see a lot of jerking of the steering wheel at points, especially when I'm on the brake. I feel like we have too much brake going to the front wheels pretty much. Trying to wonder if there was an option to like change that, the brake bias. I don't think there's an option, but I'm gonna try to mess around with something and see. But that's the only thing that I've seen so far that I would say really don't like. It's just a little thing there that I noticed, because it doesn't really change the handling that much. Well, I mean, it definitely can have a major effect if we're trying to brake super hard while turning, but as long as we brake early, we should be good. I had that with the M2, I think, where I smacked into the barrier at the end. I think it was the M2, or yeah, I think it was the M2 that I had that issue with, where like, or the M8, where I hold the brakes and trying to turn and it didn't turn because I smacked into the barrier. This car has that little issue there. I feel like it's just too much power going to the front wheels that makes them start to lock up. but I don't think the game actually has an option to change that. Or maybe you can change the brakes, because I have these to the fully upgraded brake. I think they're like stage 4. Maybe if you do stage 2 or so, it might make it a little better, but I can't really change that right now. But as I said, as long as you brake early, it's not going to be a major issue. And brake in a straight line, you don't want to try to brake while turning, even if the car seems like it's still stable, or if it was a other car. I try to brake in a straight line as much as possible with every car that I drive. I don't like to turn while I'm braking. But so far this thing is doing super well. I wasn't even focused on the time till I reached this bit. I was like, oh, let me just look at the time. We're gonna like finish in about 7:20, 7:30. Making the prediction from now. As long as you don't have an unpredicted crash. Right in the barrier there, wow. Oh. I can't tell if my game is lagging or not. It doesn't seem like it's lagging, but or if my eyes are playing tricks on me, or if I'm just about to fall asleep. I feel like something is going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't see any lag or feel any lag in the game, but I don't know. There's something in this update that I can't explain. Like I can tell there's something different, but I don't know what it is. I'm not talking about the sound of the car. That was the first thing I've noticed, but there's something different. I feel like my game is popping, but it's just moving so fast that it's not picking it up. I don't even know how to explain it. We're hugging some of these curbs super hard, but it's still able to keep traction while going through the turn, so that's pretty good. Got a little oversteer there, keep it on the track. The grass, oh my gosh, the grass messed us up super bad there, but that was kind of my fault. But yeah, as you guys can see, if you're in the rear wheel drive car and it touches the grass while the wheels are even turned slightly, it's goodbye for you. Now I'm gonna have to predict a different time. We're gonna finish in about 8, maybe. I was wrong, but that bit there definitely messed us up. I feel like this thing has some snap in it as well. Like if you turn too hard, it's just gonna snap. You gotta be careful of that as well. Surprisingly, I don't hear that much tire screeching. Despite the oversteer and the wobbliness, I don't really hear that much tire screeching. And with the other cars, even though we're taking the turns very well, I heard a lot more tire screeching. So I don't know what's happening. That's very funny to me. Unless I'm sending it super hard into these turns, I don't really hear the tires screeching that much. Let's floor it. 8:26. That's okay. As I said, usually when I'm doing the handling test, I'm not really focused on time. So yeah. But that was definitely a crazy run. Okay, let's start slowing it down from now. You can see the car start to get very wobbly when you're braking and try to turn. So you gotta be very careful of that. And now I'm gonna show you guys the setup real quick. But before we do, overall I feel like this thing has some room for improvements. I mean, it's not the worst car that I've driven. That goes to the Porsche GT4 RS, but maybe that will change because I'm gonna probably take that next. I'm gonna tune it up and change some of the stuff on that. Hopefully we can get it to handle a little bit better. But as far as this thing, it's not the worst I've driven. It definitely oversteers at time, we had a major spin out, but I feel like that was mostly because the rear tires touched the grass, so there was just complete loss of traction. So I'm not gonna blame that on the car, because I mean the car, there's no way the car could have like corrected itself there when it touched the grass. So I'm not gonna really say it was the car fault. That was kind of more of my fault. I feel like I could have saved it there, but that's okay. But overall, this thing is not the worst I've driven, but it definitely has some room for improvement. I mean, I feel like I can change some of the stuff, but for the alignment, this is how I have it. I don't recommend you guys tune it up as same as how I have it. I feel like you can change some of the stuff to see if it handles a little better. Rear camber, rear caster, toe. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take off the toe, because I don't know why I changed the toe in the first place. I think that was it stock. Hopefully that was it. But for the stiffness, this is how I have it. Rear, dampen, rear, height. I only lowered the back because the back was a little high up in the air. The wheel offset, everything is pretty much stock. The gearbox. Even though the gearbox, I always show the gearbox even though it doesn't really have much to do with the handling. I don't know why, I'm just used to it at this point. Final drive, rear diff power, rear diff coast, rear diff preload, and the steering. I'm trying to drive train. Okay, but as I said, I feel like this thing has room for improvement. So if you guys do maybe like mess with this steering and suspension a little, maybe you can find a way to have it handle a little better. But it's not that bad at handling, to be honest. There's oversteer, and like the major thing that I don't like is the wobbliness when I'm braking. I don't know if it's because I have the max brakes, but I feel like I want that to be, or I want the car to be a little less wobbly when I'm braking, because that can be very bad at times, especially if I'm trying to send it into a turn. It's gonna mess up super bad. But I hope you guys enjoyed, hope you found it helpful, and if you do have this car and you find a better like setup for it, just let me know in the comments. Maybe leave it in the comments so I can test it out and see. I'm not gonna redo a video, but I'm gonna test it out and might comment back on your comment. But yeah.